Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be making a new diorama. This diorama is going to be a simple city diorama, and this diorama is going to be for my Amazing Yamaguchi My Hero Academia figures. As you can see, I already started this, but originally I wasn't going to record this, but I decided to just, since I haven't uploaded a video, I decided to just record it. Now, as you can see, I already have 2 layers down, and this is pretty much the sketch I made of how I wanted everything to be. As you can see, that this is the sidewalk, and then that's going to be a building. I don't know about that square right there, but as you can see, another sidewalk, and then the street, and this is going to be some stairs. Now, first I began with this top piece, and as you can see, I already have some guidelines there to show me where the street is going to be at, and I'm going to use this cork sheet to add some texture to the street. And I got this idea from a YouTube channel. I'll link it down below. I forgot the name, but I'll let you guys know who I got this idea from. Now, first I began to trace out the excess cork sheet, and so that I can remove it. And then when I remove the excess cork sheet, I basically measured out the width and length of the street so that I get the perfect outline of the street, and I don't have to waste that much material and save some for future projects. Now, this cork sheet I got from the dollar store. It wasn't really expensive. I think it was like $1 per sheet, and I think I got 3, so that's why I don't want to use everything on this project. And I also find this easy to work with, although it does release a lot of debris, and it's a bit messy, but not as messy as foam, like the regular foam, the styrofoam. That's really messy. Also, a tip, make sure when you're cutting it, make sure to do like several passes, because if you do one and just because you're pulling it, you might rip it apart because it's brittle in a way, so be careful with that. Okay, so brittle might not be the right word, but when I lift it up, like as you see right now, I felt like it was gonna fall apart. So it's very sensitive, I guess, in a way. Not really. So, I mean, I just wanted to glue it on as fast as I could because I felt like it was going to fall apart, like I said. Well, actually, now that I think about it, it actually might be my fault because I chose to go the cheap route, because I've seen a pack of these in another store for like $11, so it's more expensive there. But maybe they are the same quality. It's just that it was more expensive because it contained more sheets than this pack that only had 1 sheet. So as you can see, I began to glue this, and as always I used my hot glue gun. And honestly, I made a big mistake right here because I didn't properly glue everything down. I kind of skipped some areas, and I paid the price for it later on. Well, not really, because nothing really happened. It's just that when I was painting the street, like the middle part rose up because I didn't properly added glue in some areas. But it was just one area, so it wasn't too bad. This little piece that I'm gluing on right here is something that fell that's something that I broke off when I was cutting it, or like the first time, because like I said, it comes off. So make sure to be careful at the end specifically, because that's where, if you don't properly hold it down, it'll come off, or you will rip it off like I did. But I mean, you can barely see it once I glued it on. You can hardly tell that something came off there. Alright, so the next thing to do was the sidewalk, and to do that I used this foam board. As you can see, I already have the outlines for the sidewalk, and when I was doing this piece, I realized that the height between the sidewalk and the street was very similar, and I didn't like that, so I decided to use these strips of cork sheet to add a bit of height. And well, I'm going to glue them at the bottom, and of course I'm going to remove the paper from the foam board. So as you can see, I already have removed part of the paper from this piece, which is going to be the one that's next to on the first layer of the diorama. And well, here it is. This is what I did, and once I flip it over, you guys will see that I also drew the outline of the sidewalk, which honestly I should have done that before I glued these strips, because it would have been easier. But I never planned this. I always improvise with situations like this. Like, for example, if I would have just covered the whole section with the cork sheet, I wouldn't have needed to do this, and I would have just glued the foam board on top of the street or whatever. By the way, I repeated this same step for all the sidewalk pieces. And well, here it is. This is what it looks like when I glued both the street and the sidewalk. And I also made this stairs off camera because they were so difficult. I don't know how long it would have taken me to record this, but they were really difficult. And as you can see, I used the same material I used for the sidewalk. I also made the little bardita that's right there on the front to cover the front piece of the second layer. No, I don't even know what the hell's going on here. I don't even know what I'm explaining. I think I'm explaining the way I'm gonna paint everything. I think I originally was gonna paint the sidewalk like a pinkish reddish color because I wanted it to look like the anime from My Hero Academia. But when I painted it the first time, it looked horrible, so I decided to just go with gray. I was also gonna paint the street gray color, and I decided to go with black instead of gray because if I was gonna make the sidewalk gray, I'm gonna have the sidewalk and the street gray. So I ended up going with black, and I think it worked out for the best. Before I got to painting, I decided to go with the building that I had in mind, and this is the building. I came up with this building. Well, I didn't come up with it. I got some reference images of some anime style buildings, and this is what I came up with because I don't want it to be too tall or too short. And as you can see, I used cardboard. These are the two cardboard pieces that are gonna make it the front and the side of the building. So yeah. Now let me warn you, this is not going to be like the greatest building you've ever seen, but I think it serves this purpose for what I needed it. I mean, you can't really see it at the end because the figures pretty much cover the building, but I mean, it works as a stand-in. If I ever want to change it, I didn't glue it, or I didn't glue anything, which makes it much more easier for me to go back and replace some of the stuff that I don't like anymore or I want to fix. So here's the final product. This is what it's looking like with some paint on it. As you can see, I already finished the building. This is what it looks like. Like I said, it looks a bit basic, but I mean, I'm gonna cover that, by the way, at the back. So we got the sidewalk painted with the gray. We got the street with black and yellow stripes. We got the little baratita with some brown. The stairs are the same color as the sidewalk, and then I ended up using clear tape instead of masking tape because I didn't have masking tape. So I think the clear tape worked all right. I did mess up in one of the streets, the upper street, because it bled out, I guess that's the correct term. Now here's where I take off the tape. Like I said, it would have worked better if I had masking tape, because I feel like that one is a little easier to remove. But I mean, this one wasn't so difficult, but I was a little bit scared that the cork sheet was going to come off, because like I said in the beginning, I thought it was a bit weak, so I was a little worried. But fortunately nothing happened. There was no, I didn't pull anything, or the paint also didn't come off, so that was good. And honestly, at this point I was pretty excited because I thought that this street looked pretty good. So like I said, I was excited and I couldn't wait to see what it looked like later on. Now here it is with everything assembled, both the building and the stairs, the concrete stairs. And I'm just looking at what I need to do, and I remember that I still need to add the little strip above the wall right at the front. Now as you can see right at the top, at the corner, you can see that I already added the strip. And now since I didn't know what to use for the windows of the building, I decided to use a what's this called, a divider that I had laying around. So I ended up cutting a strip, and yeah, I found a way to glue it to the building and glue the side and the back, and I was done with the building.